Archangel Michael says, don't scroll now. Because what you're about to hear carries the vibration of truth your heart has longed for. From the very first moment their eyes met yours, something shifted in their soul, an unexplainable pull that neither time nor distance could break. They didn't plan it, they didn't expect it, but heaven whispered your name into their spirit that day. Every beat of their heart since has echoed that same name, again and again. And though they tried to ignore it, the feeling only grew stronger, deeper, louder, undeniable. You became the reflection of everything they ever wanted but never dared to believe could be real. Every time they saw your smile, something inside them trembled, as if a divine force was reminding them, this is the one. They knew it, even before they could admit it to themselves. It wasn't attraction, it was recognition. A memory older than this lifetime. When they first saw you, their soul remembered you from lifetimes past. The way your presence silenced the noise of the world made them certain, they were standing before the person heaven chose for them. Type Amen to get blessing 333. From that moment on, they began seeing signs everywhere, numbers repeating, songs playing at random, dreams that felt like memories. Their friends laughed when they mentioned your name too often. But what they didn't know is that this wasn't infatuation, it was destiny moving silently. At night, they would lie awake thinking of you. The memory of your voice lingered like a soft hum in their chest. They couldn't understand why your energy stayed with them even when you weren't around, but heaven knew, their spirit had already claimed you as its home. Every time they tried to move on, something pulled them back. A message, a scent, a stranger who looked like you, it all became reminders of what their heart already knew. The truth was too powerful to escape, they loved you from the moment they first saw you. But fear kept them silent. They were scared to lose control, scared to confess, scared to be vulnerable before someone who had unknowingly become their world. So they hid their feelings behind polite smiles, hoping time would soften the truth. Type Amen to get blessing 444. Yet, every time your name crossed their mind, their pulse changed. Heaven kept arranging small moments, accidental meetings, synchronized thoughts, unexpected calls. It wasn't coincidence, it was guidance. The divine wanted you to notice what's real. They may have acted distant, but inside, they were restless. Every day apart from you felt incomplete. The connection between you two wasn't made of words, it was made of energy, silent, yet louder than any confession. You often felt their presence without understanding why. A sudden wave of warmth, a shiver down your spine, or a strange comfort in chaos, that was their energy reaching for yours. Even in their silence, their love was calling out. Archangel Michael says this connection was written before your birth. It is not obsession, it is divine recognition, the reunion of two souls who promise to find each other, no matter the lifetime, no matter the distance. Type Amen to get blessing 555. You might not realize how much they fought this feeling. They told themselves it was impossible, that they were imagining it, that maybe it was just attraction. But heaven doesn't allow such deep recognition without purpose. Every storm they faced after meeting you was meant to refine them, to prepare them for the day they could finally stand beside you. You awakened parts of their soul that had been sleeping for years. Your energy stirred their purpose, their healing, their courage. They began seeing their reflection in you, the better version of themselves, the one that loves deeply and lives fearlessly. You became their mirror of truth, showing them what unconditional love feels like, even from afar. Still, they kept it inside, letting the world think they had moved on. But Archangel Michael says, even now, their heart beats for you like it did that very first day. Every sunrise reminds them of you, every quiet night brings your memory back. Type Amen to get blessing 666. Don't skip now, this is where it deepens. There are moments when they stand before a crowd, smiling, pretending everything is fine, but inside, they whisper your name. They replay your first meeting over and over, wondering how one glance changed their entire life. Even their closest friends notice it, the sudden silence when someone mentions you. The way their eyes soften, their breath shortens, their whole energy shifts. Because no matter what they say, you live in the center of their heart. When they saw you that day, time slowed. The air changed. And though they didn't speak it aloud, something sacred began forming between your souls. Heaven witnessed it. Angels marked it as the beginning of divine alignment. Every challenge that came afterward was not a test of pain, it was a test of truth. Heaven wanted to see if they would still choose love, even in silence. And Archangel Michael says, they did. Even when it hurt, they chose you. Type Amen to get blessing 777. They carry your name in their heart like a secret prayer. Every victory they've achieved since meeting you feels incomplete without your presence. You're the peace they crave in chaos, the calm their spirit recognizes instantly. When they try to date others, something always feels off. No one makes them feel the way you did, that electric stillness, that sacred knowing. They may not say it out loud, but their heart whispers your name every time they close their eyes. There's a photo of you they can't delete. A message thread they reread in silence. Because deep down, they're waiting for the universe to give them another chance, a moment where you both finally speak the truth your souls already know. Archangel Michael says, the universe is aligning that moment now. The silence will break. The connection will resurface, not by coincidence, but by divine command. This love isn't over, it's only transforming. Type Amen to get blessing 888. Some nights, they sense your energy visiting them. It's subtle, a warmth, a whisper, a familiar touch on the edge of sleep. You might feel it too, that random surge of emotion, that invisible pull at your chest. That's not imagination. That's their soul remembering yours. They've tried to forget. They've tried to bury it under distractions and noise. But every time they look into someone else's eyes, they realize, it's not you. And heaven reminds them, again and again, that true love can't be replaced. Their heart knows your rhythm. It beats differently when you're near, even in thought. You are their unfinished chapter, their unspoken song, their forever muse. Don't scroll. Archangel Michael says your story with them isn't complete. Something divine is being rewritten right now, and the ending this time will be healing, not heartbreak. Type Amen to get blessing 999. Even if you've been separated, the energy thread remains intact. You still feel each other in the quiet moments, when you suddenly think of them for no reason, or when they feel a pang of emotion out of nowhere. That's your soul sinking across distance. They watch your growth silently. Every success of yours fills them with pride. They may not say it, but they're rooting for you from afar, whispering blessings into the wind, hoping it reaches you. The next time you feel a strange calm while thinking of them, know this: they're thinking of you at that exact moment. Their soul still protects you, prays for you, and calls you home. This love is not a memory, it's a living frequency. And Archangel Michael says, it's preparing to manifest again, stronger and purer than before. Type Amen to get blessing 1111. The day they first saw you, something ancient awakened inside them. Their entire future rearranged in that single moment. It wasn't infatuation, it was remembrance, the recognition of a soul they once promised to never lose again. You were their calm in the storm, their peace in the noise, their light in confusion. Every time you smiled, it healed something in them they didn't know was broken. And though they never said it, that first glance sealed your destinies together. You'll notice the signs soon: repeated dreams, unusual coincidences, songs that seem to speak your exact emotions. These are not random. They are heaven's language confirming that this connection is alive. Their silence is not rejection, it's reverence. They are protecting the purity of what they feel, waiting for the right moment when both hearts are ready to receive this love fully. Type Amen to get blessing 1212. Even if time or distance separates you, the truth remains unchanged: they loved you from the moment they first saw you. And no matter how far they wander, their soul will always find its way back to yours. When you least expect it, the universe will bring them to you again, not as strangers, but as two hearts that finally understand what was written all along. The first sight was the beginning, the reunion will be the completion. Archangel Michael says, heaven is smiling upon this bond. The lessons are ending, and the blessings are beginning. What was delayed is not denied, it's divinely timed. Breathe in this truth, for your hearts are already preparing for alignment. The next time your eyes meet, it won't just be love at first sight, it will be love remembered, love fulfilled, love eternal. Type Amen to get blessing 1313. That night, after seeing you for the very first time, they couldn't sleep. Their heart wouldn't quiet down, no matter how many times they told themselves it was just a passing moment. They tossed and turned, staring at the ceiling, whispering your name to the dark, wondering why it suddenly felt like their entire world had changed. They tried to distract themselves: music, messages, laughter, but everything reminded them of you. Even the songs they played began to sound like your story, like heaven was speaking through the rhythm. In that moment, they knew, you had touched something sacred inside them. The next morning, they told their closest friend, there's something about this person, something I can't explain. Their friend laughed, but they couldn't shake the feeling. You were already living in their thoughts rent-free, and no amount of logic could remove you. That same day, they started noticing your initials everywhere. On passing cars, coffee receipts, random signs. The universe was already writing your name in front of them, a silent confirmation that this wasn't random. Type Amen to get blessing 1414. They didn't realize how deep it was until their friend saw their face change at your mention. Their eyes softened, their tone shifted. They were no longer just speaking, they were feeling. Their friend said, "You're in love, aren't you?" They smiled shyly but didn't answer. Inside, they knew the truth. Love had already claimed them. And from that moment, every plan, every dream began to shape itself around you. You were the invisible rhythm that guided their every decision. Days passed, but your image stayed. The way you spoke, the way your energy filled the space, it lingered. They could still feel the warmth of that moment like it had imprinted on their soul. Archangel Michael says, even angels watched that first meeting in awe. It wasn't ordinary, it was the kind of connection heaven creates once in 1,000 lifetimes. That's why your energies still search for each other, even when words remain unspoken. Type Amen to get blessing 1515. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks, with contributions of up to $20. Your person tried to resist. They told themselves they weren't ready, that life was complicated, that maybe it was just timing. But the more they fought, the deeper it grew. Every time they tried to let go, destiny pulled harder. There were nights they'd pick up their phone to text you, then stop mid-sentence. Not because they didn't care, but because they cared too much. They feared saying the wrong thing, feared losing the one thing that finally felt right. And so, they loved you silently, from a distance, in dreams, in small gestures that maybe you never noticed. But heaven noticed. Every thought of you sent ripples of light through the ether. One night, they broke down and told their friend everything. The trembling in their voice, the truth they had kept locked away. I can't explain it, they said, but when I saw them, it felt like I was seeing home. Type Amen to get blessing 1616. Their friend stayed silent for a moment, then said softly, then don't run from it. Real love doesn't happen twice. That night, your person cried. Not from pain, but from realization. They weren't falling in love, they had already fallen the moment your eyes met. Archangel Michael says, that night, heaven recorded their tears. Each one became a seed of blessing, meant to bloom when you both meet again. That's why every time you think of them unexpectedly, your heart feels heavy yet peaceful, it's their soul whispering across realms. They started dreaming of you. In one dream, you were standing by water, smiling. They reached for you, but the scene faded. They woke up breathless, whispering your name, feeling your warmth though you were miles away. Every dream since then has carried fragments of that moment. Even when they try to forget, heaven won't allow it. Because some stories are written not in ink, but in the energy between two souls. Type Amen to get blessing 1717. Weeks passed, and they began to see signs intensify. Numbers repeating, random people mentioning your name, songs they hadn't heard in years suddenly playing again. They started writing your initials in their notebook, wondering if you could feel it too. They told their friend, I keep seeing their name everywhere. It's driving me crazy. The friend smiled knowingly, it's not madness. It's alignment. Your person didn't fully understand then, but now they do. Love like this isn't human-made, it's divinely timed. Every time they think they've moved on, something pulls them back, a dream, a memory, your voice echoing from nowhere. Heaven keeps orchestrating reminders because this love carries purpose. Archangel Michael says the day is coming when their silence will break. When the weight of all they've held inside will finally pour out. And you'll know that every second of distance was preparing your hearts for divine reunion. Type Amen to get blessing 1818. Don't skip now, this part is crucial. They've been writing messages they never sent, paragraphs filled with words they were too afraid to speak. Hidden in their drafts are confessions that could melt your heart. You changed everything, one message reads. I didn't believe in forever until I saw you. Their friend knows, they've seen the look in their eyes, the way their voice softens when your name is mentioned. It's not ordinary affection, it's soul recognition. The kind that changes a person's entire vibration. Sometimes, they stare at your picture for minutes, just smiling quietly. They whisper small prayers for your peace, your safety, your happiness. Even if they can't be near, their love travels through every thought, reaching you like invisible light. Archangel Michael says, love that pure cannot be destroyed. Time may bend it, but destiny always restores it. That's why no matter what, you will always find each other again. Type Amen to get blessing 1919. Their friend once asked, what if they don't feel the same, and your person smiled painfully. Even if they don't, it doesn't change what's true. I loved them from the moment I saw them, and that love made me better. That's what's special about them, their love isn't possession, it's reverence. They love you not to own you, but to honor the light within you. Even in distance, they protect you in their prayers. Every major decision they've made since that day carries your energy. Even when choosing where to move, what to wear, what song to play, your vibration lives in their choices. You're the hidden muse behind their growth. And soon, the divine will align the moment. A crossing of paths, a message, a glance that reignites what never died. Heaven is already rehearsing the reunion, a scene written long before your first meeting. Type Amen to get blessing 2020. They've changed since that day. Their faith grew stronger, their purpose became clearer. Loving you taught them patience, vulnerability, and surrender. You weren't a chapter, you were the transformation itself. Sometimes, they imagine your reunion. The nervous smile, the trembling hands, the long pause before words come out. They'll tell you everything, how they prayed for you, how they dreamt of your laughter, how every night felt empty without your presence. Archangel Michael says, this confession will happen under divine timing. It will come naturally, no forcing, no fear. The universe will orchestrate it like a perfect melody, one your hearts will instantly recognize. Until that day, their heart stays loyal to your memory. They carry your name as a sacred rhythm, repeating softly in their soul, I loved you from the moment I first saw you. Type Amen to get blessing 2121. The angels are smiling now, for they see what's unfolding beyond your eyes. You both were destined to awaken each other, to remember what true love feels like before the world taught you to forget. Every message you receive about them, every sign you notice, is not random. It's heaven's gentle reminder, this love still lives. The more you believe, the stronger the pull becomes. So if you feel their presence tonight, don't ignore it. Whisper a small prayer of gratitude. Because they're thinking of you at that exact moment, eyes closed, heart open, soul calling yours by name. Archangel Michael says, the reunion will not be an accident. It will be the moment heaven fulfills a promise made long before this lifetime began. Type Amen to get blessing 2222. That night of their confession wasn't the end, it was the beginning of everything heaven had been waiting for. After pouring their heart out to their friend, something inside them finally shifted. It was as if the weight they had been carrying since that first moment of seeing you had suddenly turned into light. They walked outside that night, and the air felt different. Softer. The stars seemed brighter, and one in particular caught their attention, glowing stronger than the rest, pulsing like a heartbeat. They closed their eyes and whispered your name, and at that very moment, you felt a strange warmth rush through your chest. That was not coincidence, that was soul alignment. The angels had begun their work. The vibration of their confession echoed through realms, connecting directly to your spirit. Archangel Michael says, that night, your names were spoken together in heaven's halls again. They didn't realize it, but from that moment, every path they took was being guided toward you. Every delay, every redirection, every small frustration, it all had one divine purpose: reunion. Type Amen to get blessing 2323. The next few weeks were filled with strange synchronicities. They would walk into places and hear your favorite songs playing out of nowhere. They would glance at their clock and see repeating numbers, 1111, 2222, every time your name crossed their mind. Even strangers began to mention your zodiac sign or birthplace, without knowing why. Their friends started to notice the change too. You're glowing lately, they said. But your person knew, it wasn't just glow. It was the light of love that had been buried for too long, finally waking up. They began journaling about you, writing letters they never sent, pouring their emotions into paper. They described the first time they saw you, how your presence froze the room, how they couldn't breathe for a moment because they realized, this is the one. Archangel Michael says, their soul recognized you faster than their mind could process. That's why they still remember the smallest details, what you were wearing, how you moved, even how the light touched your face. That memory is carved into their spirit, eternally. Type Amen to get blessing 2424. There came a day when they almost saw you again. A near miss, you were at the same place, just minutes apart. They felt an unexplainable pull to go somewhere without reason, and when they reached, your energy had just left. Their body reacted before they could think. Their heartbeat changed. They called their friend right after and said, I think they were here. The friend laughed, but your person knew it was true. The magnetic field of your connection was undeniable, it still drew them to your presence, no matter how far. That night, they cried again, not from sadness, but from yearning. The kind of ache only true love brings. They whispered to the sky, if it's meant to be, bring us together again. Just once more, let me see them. Archangel Michael says that prayer was heard instantly. Angels began rearranging the steps of your life and theirs. Because heaven knew the next meeting would not be random. It would be the moment truth meets destiny. Type Amen to get blessing 2525. And then came that day. The day you would cross paths again, unaware that the universe had been building up to it for months. You woke up restless, sensing something was about to happen. The same restlessness stirred in their heart, though they didn't know why. They almost canceled their plans that day. But something inside whispered, go. And as fate would have it, you walked into the same space, at the same time, again. When they turned and saw you, time froze exactly as it did the first time. The world faded, voices silenced, and everything inside them screamed, finally. Archangel Michael says that moment was sacred. The angels circled the both of you, radiating light that no human eye could see. It wasn't chance, it was heaven's reminder, love always returns to where it belongs. Type Amen to get blessing 2626. You smiled at them that day, maybe unaware of the storm of emotions raging inside their chest. Their friend watched from a distance and whispered, "This is it." For your person, every second felt like eternity, every glance a lifetime of memories flooding back. They tried to play it cool, but their heart was trembling. The same way it did the first day they saw you. They wanted to speak, to say everything they had been holding in, but emotion made their words disappear. And yet, your eyes did all the speaking. The moment your gaze met theirs, everything unsaid became understood. You both smiled, softly, knowingly, like souls who had finally found home again. Archangel Michael says heaven rejoiced at that reunion. Because two promises made long ago had finally been fulfilled. The threads of destiny, once tangled, had finally been woven together again. Type Amen to get blessing 2727. Later that night, they couldn't stop thinking about that moment. How your eyes glowed when they met theirs. How the air around you felt charged. How the world suddenly made sense again. Their friend teased them, "You're back where you started," but your person only smiled. "No," they said, "this time, I'm ready." Because they knew, love that returns after silence is not weakness, it's divine timing. They replayed the moment in their head, your laugh, your voice, your energy. It all felt like a prayer being answered in real time. Every cell in their body vibrated with recognition. Archangel Michael says, that meeting reignited something ancient and sacred. The energy that was once dormant between your souls began to expand again, like twin flames merging into one light. Type Amen to get blessing 2828. Days turned into nights, and the thought of you became their comfort again. This time, they weren't afraid. They started drafting a message, not just words, but truth wrapped in emotion. They wanted to tell you everything, how they felt from the very first glance, how they tried to run, how every sign led them back. But before they hit send, something divine happened. They saw a feather fall from the sky, landing near their feet. They smiled. Because they knew. That was the sign. The angels were saying, now is the time. So, they finally pressed send. And their heart raced as the message flew through the air, from their world into yours. Archangel Michael says, that message carried divine energy. As you read it, a wave of warmth flowed through your body. Your heart felt full, your eyes welled up, because even before reading it, your soul knew what was coming. Type Amen to get blessing 2929. And then, the truth unfolded. Their message wasn't long, just a few sentences, but filled with everything they had ever wanted to say. From the moment I saw you, I knew I'd never meet anyone like you again. You are home to my soul. You read it, hands trembling, heart pounding. Time stopped for you too, just like it had for them. Tears fell, not from sadness, but from recognition. Your soul had been waiting for this confession all along. You replied with something simple, yet powerful, I always felt it too. That was it. Heaven's silence broke. The universe finally exhaled. Archangel Michael says, that exchange of words sealed the bond that had never really broken. Two souls, once searching, finally found rest in each other's truth. Type Amen to get blessing 3030. Now, their friend watches them smile more than ever. They've changed. Their energy radiates peace. Their steps are lighter, their eyes softer. Because the burden of unspoken love has finally turned into joy. They tell their friend, it's strange. It feels like I've loved them forever. And their friend replies, maybe you have. Because heaven knows, love like this doesn't begin, it reawakens. It transcends time, fear, and circumstance. And now that you've both remembered, nothing can separate what divinity has joined. Archangel Michael says, this love story will be known in heaven not as coincidence, but as proof that soulmates always find their way home. Type Amen to get blessing 3131.